Hello everyone, Mr. Stevens here again with another video. This time we're going to be putting into practice what we learned in the last lesson about using the calculator in trigonometry, and we're going to use that to find unknown sides. It's a fairly straightforward process. There's just going to be two slightly different methods. We're going to just be basically finding the length of an unknown side of a triangle. But occasionally that unknown side will end up on the denominator of the ratio. What I mean by that is maybe we have sine 30 equals x over 5. We might have something like that. That's what I'm talking about in the first step. That's just basically finding the length of an unknown side, x. But we can also have something like this. And in that case, the method is slightly different because the unknown side is on the bottom. Let's jump into it though. I want you guys to pause this right here and write down these steps. We're going to be doing these steps every time we answer one of these questions. And in fact, I'm about to do an example that I want you guys to watch. And I'm going to use these steps to do it. So pause the video here and write these down. Okay, example. Step 1, name the sides of the triangle. Okay, so my adjacents here, my opposites here, my hypotenuse is here. Now I've got to use SOHCAHTOA to determine which ratio that I need. So I've got opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to need tan. And now I can just write that down. Tan 35 equals opposite x over adjacent 20. Now I need to rearrange the equation to make x the subject. Now we talked about this briefly in our last lesson. When we have something like this, we divide by 2. Well, the opposite is true here. Instead of, we have x divided by 20, so we need to times both sides by 20. Now, to cancel that 20 out. So now I'm just going to write it like this. So x is on the left. Now step 4, use the calculator to find x. This, exactly as it's written, goes right into your calculator. And your calculator will come back with 14.0041 ... and we're asked to answer to 3 decimal places. So that's 14.004. Right, a couple of examples for us to do together now. I'm going to give you the first one, and then I'll get you guys to do the other two. We've got sine 38 equals x over 7. We're going to multiply both sides by 7. And then we end up with x equals 7 sine 38, which equals 4.309, which equals 4.31. I'm just going to give you the answers to these ones. X is going to equal 4 tan 42. Put that in your calculator, 3.601. 2 decimal places, 3.60. And over here, x equals 10 cos 24, which if it goes into our calculator, looks like that. There you go. Now, if the x ends up on the bottom of the denominator, we're going to have something a little different. We'll start the question out the same. We've got a and h, so we need cos 40 equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Now the x is on the bottom, so what do we do? Well, we start rearranging it the same way we did before. Now we've got x cos 40 equals 12. Now we've got x times something, so this time we're going to divide. And what we end up with is x equals 12 over cos 40. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to not remember all this algebra. What I want you to notice is that we started with x here and we ended up with x here. We started with cos 40 here and we ended up with cos 40 there. They just traded places. So you guys can go straight from there to there on these questions in future. The x and the trig ratio just trade places. And then from here, it just goes into your calculator, same as before. This one comes to 15.664 or 15.66. Again, some examples. I'll walk you through the first one again. We've got opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So we're going to need sine for this one. Sine 35 equals 2 over x. Now we trade places with the x and the sine. Put it into our calculator and we get to 2 decimal places. You guys can pause and have a go at these two. I'll give you the answers when you come back. Right, and now you guys will jump into the textbook. A lot of these questions have 9 or 6 parts. I've said first 2, last 2, but if you just use 4 from each question, I'm happy with that. Thanks, guys.